One love, family. Wholeness and balance. Many blessings to you today. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Just working here with a little bit of raspberry leaf. We just harvested all this. Well, we were pruning out some old raspberries for a client, getting ready for winter and mulching them in with some leaf. And but a lot of this is, got some nice color to it still, and so we're going to use this to make some tea for my wife and for the ladies out there for during moon time. Some raspberry leaf is really great tonic for women during moon time. Tones the uterus and builds the blood. Raspberry being in the rose family, rose family is all good for heart circulation and the blood. It's a astringent tonifying herb, so we're stoked to be working with that. And since it's all rainy and blustery outside today, it's a perfect little moment to work with stuff like this. And I wanted to answer a few questions someone had sent me after seeing my post some 20 days ago about the 143rd day of my dry fasting, 23 hours a day, and juicing for an hour, and pranic practice. And they say, congratulations, maybe you can help me in my journey. I've done some therapeutic water fasting of 6 to 17 days, and I fast twice a month right now for 1 day each. Recently I've been practicing qigong grounding, and I feel I'm not hungry when I practice, but even so I eat. It's like my mind sends me messages of doubt. I'm confused. How can I know if I'm obtaining energy from the earth or sunlight and need less food? Did you have such doubts when you first met all these pranic techniques? Thanks. So to share my story a little bit, I had originally got into sun gazing and meditation as sort of a consciousness explorer, and I was a young father. I had been doing kind of standard American diet. I'd gotten away from my meditation practice. This was, some 12 years ago. And I came upon HRM, the sun gazer, and he was talking about, activating the pineal gland and gaining enlightenment through sun gazing and through connecting with the earth via grounding, and the importance of eating raw foods and fasting to decalcify the pineal gland. Pineal gland, if you drink distilled water, that is on the one hand demineralizing, on the other hand, and decalcifying. On the other hand, the light itself stimulates the pineal gland to decalcify. It's got rods and cones, and it's photoreceptive, and actually has like a cornea and a lens, and it's like a vestigial eye, actually. And so that was really interesting to me. And he had talked about needing less food or no food, and supposedly he went many days that, he said he was a breatharian, and he swore up and down that he never ate. And then people caught him, throwing down and eating at like, all you can eat buffet or something like that. And so this is part of it, is sort of this puritanical sense that we put upon ourselves. I think it's part of the basis of our culture, especially as Americans, this sense of puritanism. That if you don't just live off light, then you're not a breatharian. I hate to break it to you, but everyone is a breatharian. Every single human being on the planet is an energy being that primarily subsists off the breath. And that breath, you can go many days without food, many days without water, but you can only go a few minutes without the breath. And this is the basis of the practice. And with respect to, these, you're doing great practice out there, my friend. Being able to just, I would stay consistent, keep meditating, keep doing qigong, keep sun gazing, keep grounding, and keep fasting as often as is easy. This is what my teacher Ellie Tom says is like, what you want is a practice you can do consistently and easily, and you need to give yourself permission to go ahead and eat. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like, and we'll get so hard on ourselves, and that actually is counter to the practice and counter to the idea of this, is like to lighten up your life and to enjoy your life and to be healthy, and to gain in your wisdom and gain the energy to, eventually step away from food if you're even called to do that. And a lot of breatharians still eat, but the idea is food freedom, so that you learn that you're an energy being, that you don't necessarily need food, but you can have food if you would like some food. For myself, I definitely aspire to living off purely energy, because this is part of my aspiration and wish for longevity. I love life, and I'd like to live a long, healthy life full of energy. So, when those, and it's this thing of the body's vital adjustment and the adjustment of your consciousness. You're not just adjusting your body, you're adjusting your spirit and your consciousness. And if you've been eating food for 30 or 40 years or 20 years or however old you are, then you need to give yourself some time to wrap up that relationship you have with food. It's a beautiful relationship. It's still prana. It's still sunlight encapsulated in food and biophotons. So, you're still living from prana if you're eating. But if you're aspiring toward the breatharian state and would like to release food altogether, as some of us are inclined to do, and that's the other thing, is you've got to feel called. You've got to really, really want that. But you don't want to press yourself. My brother says, and pardon my French, but it's funny and it's true. Love is like a fart. If you have to push, it's probably shit. And we never want to use force on this path. This is, part of the Taoist understanding of Wu Wei, non-forcing, also sometimes translated as not doing, but in that sense of like, you should make it easy, you should make it fun, it should be something that you can consistently do, and you should enjoy the journey. If you try to push too far too fast, the pendulum has to swing as far out, to one side as you push it to the other. And there was a great little download from a monk the other day that I saw, and he had his mala and he was hanging it in front of him, and he said, don't push or pull. When, like, if there's something you love and you try to draw it in towards you, eventually you have to let it go, and it'll swing out away from you. It'll go farther away from you. And if there's something you dislike and you try to push it away, eventually you let go and it's going to swing in toward you. So just allow things to be as they are. And, like, it's all a sine wave. Meditation itself, take a look at the brainwave patterns of meditators, and as well as, sort of their highs and lows in life, because everyone has highs and lows, and instead, a lot of people go like, everything's going great, oh shit, everything sucks, oh, everything's, meditators like, yeah, it's good, it's bad, it's whatever. It's more of an even sine wave, and we want to know that, the planets and, this collective consciousness and all these things are kind of pushing us and pulling us in different ways, to just allow them to be, to give over and relent, to not forcing and trying to press things into being, willfully, but to allow things to become and to manifest as they will, naturally. So I hope that's helpful. I had one other question someone presented me with. I've been meaning to keep working with this, but I'm involved, and I'll get in that in a minute. They had asked me about sun gazing and sun exposure, and whether they thought it aged you, whether they thought it was, would make your skin wrinkly, whether for your eyes and so forth. So the sun is what it created the skin. It's like what created the cytoplasm, or the around cells, where essentially radiation is hitting this soft tissue so much that the tissue starts to build in resistance to the radiation. So and our body photosynthesizes vitamin D by having exposure to the sun, and otherwise it's hard to get vitamin D. It also, being in the sun, regulates serotonin, and dopamine and neurotransmitters. It syncs up your circadian rhythms. It has a myriad of health benefits. It's also this thing of chi. Like there's cosmic chi, or heaven chi pouring down in the form of sunlight, in the form of cosmic radiation, and there's earth chi coming up from the ground. And so as a breatharian, you're trying to harmonize earth and heaven chi in the heart, through stilling the heart and managing your energy, and moving into relaxed, peaceful, happy, loving vibration that is like a resonant frequency that just charges itself. So in shorthand, the sun is not bad for you. The sun is good for you. Having to cover up and wear sunscreen and wear sunglasses and stuff is avoidance of the source. You think ancient man, they were out there in nature, all day, every day. And as a gardener, I'm in the desert of northern New Mexico, where we get a lot of 360 some, or not that much, but many, many days of sun. Almost every day is sunny here. And as a gardener, I'm out in it all day, every day. I sun gaze. Been doing it for 12 years at least, and grew up that way, just playing in the sun. So that sunshine, it's good for the soul, good for the spirit, and good for the body, and you shouldn't fear it. So I hope that answers questions, family. Today I think is a day 162 of dry fasting, 23 hours every day. I built to this. It took me a decade, so give yourself time to grow into the light. The gentle healing is the greatest healing. So you want to let that your body's vital adjustment move you slowly into the state of breatharianism if you're called to it. So hope you got something from this. Hope you're having a beautiful day. One love, family. Be well.